What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP. This is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the Film Bros podcast.
German?
Was that German?
That sounded very, German or
Bro, I just make up accents.
Swedish.
I was actually trying to go for, a Hispanic accent.
That didn't sound... That wouldn't sound Hispanic.
I was thinking that was more French, but,
No.
it is what it is. But something that we can't... You know what? We're coming off of a good time. We're actually having a great day today, right? Are you having a great day?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Somebody who's not having a great Monday is Black Panther star Tenoch Huerta.
I thought it was Tanakh.
Tanakh?
Tanakh, and then his last name.
Huerta. Probably.
Yeah.
But he's not having a good Monday because over the weekend, some allegations came out. Now, not only does he have a problem on his hands, but Marvel as well, because now they have two villains that are playing villains in real life. And not only are we dealing with Kang the Conqueror, who is out there becoming a menace in the streets of New York City, but we also have Tenoch Huerta, who is also now being accused of sexual assault. Now, the same thing with the Kang story. I wanted to give it time to breathe so we can, actually get some facts. See if, we get some more tweets or, some kind of evidence. And it wound up coming. We got not only an explanation from the victim, but she also goes on to give her reason why she is barely speaking about it now.
Damn.
Now, for those that don't know, when he was first being hired to play Namor, he was going through allegations already.
Yeah,
And
the rumors were already,
something about him sending goons to pour acid on some chick or something like that. Yeah, which was the same girl.
Yeah.
So she goes and she talks about it a little bit, and this is what her allegation was. So this is coming from Mexican saxophonist, and her name is Maria Elena Rios. So she's a saxophonist, and she wound up coming forward, and she put it on Twitter saying, "It is very difficult to talk about the emotional abuse and the abuse of power of a sexual predator who is loved in the world for playing a character in a movie like Tenoch Huerta," and she tagged him in it, in the tweet. Charming in appearance, the great hallmark of narcissist, a good helping of victimization.
Damn.
They touched on what I told you guys a second ago, that back in 2019, she was making accusations to Huerta, saying that she survived an acid attack. She didn't report the abuse earlier. She says, "Why I'm late in talking about it? Because I have a process." She said she wound up showing messages of him being verbally abusive on Twitter. She said, "Why didn't I report? Because I was afraid that this would happen. People who refuse to believe that a superhero is an abuser, manipulator, and a sexual predator. Yes, you, Tenoch Huerta, abuse because you know you have power."
Oh, man. This is not a good look. What is going on? Marvel doesn't do background checks? Is that my thing? Is that what's happening here?
Well, see, that's why when Kang came up, I was really surprised. When Jonathan Majors was going through all that, I was really surprised and we didn't talk about it because it literally set my mind, but he was going through it back in 2019 when he was first getting hired to even play the role for Black Panther. So in my head, I was like, okay, Marvel's taking this serious because of what happened with Josh Brolin, you know what I mean? Like, they're taking this serious and they're actually vetting people, and because these allegations didn't really follow through, they kind of fell down. I was like, oh, they're actually doing their job. But then Kang the Conqueror slipped through the cracks, and now it seems like it's backtracking to Tenoch Huerta.
Yeah. Dude, this is just terrible timing. It's so weird. I understand victims have their own thing going on, but why don't they? I feel like they should just come out sooner and say these things. You know what I mean?
Well, Yes, I yeah. I mean, the sooner the better is always the best thing. Now, they do have certain leeways that I do understand for victims. There's the whole believability aspect. Court of
Yeah.
public opinion. She's right. If he's a superhero, how can she paint him in a bad light when everybody loves him? You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
why. Like, she should have done that before he got the role. You know what I mean? He should.
Well,
Now it's going to be hard to get those people.
that's
to
what I'm
turn on
saying.
him.
Well, with Disney, that's what I'm saying, that back in 2019, if anything were to have panned out, it would have happened before he got the role.
Yeah.
But Disney basically everything got swept under the rug.
Mhm.
It was kind of like, why, because she did say, and I remember her talking about it, that supposedly he paid people to throw acid on her, and everybody thought it was so crazy that nobody believed her.
Yeah, no,
That just sounds
that
so
sounds
weird. I'm gonna
insane.
send my goons to throw acid on you.
Yeah,
Like,
no, that does sound that does sound kind of crazy. Like, but if she confirmed it, then cool. But like that sounds far fetched.
yeah.
Hearing it
So
first.
we don't know if he is guilty or innocent. The way he puts it when he responded, and he did respond via Instagram story. He wound up putting a paragraph on there to let people know about the situation. He didn't respond to it over the weekend. He waited until the weekday, and exactly the way he puts this. The way he puts this is how I would have expected Jonathan Majors to do it if he was innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this kind of, I guess separately for that case, it kind of makes me think like, what the fuck's going on over there? But
yeah.
this is what he wound up putting out on Instagram, and he says, about a year ago, I dated Elena for several months. It was entirely consensual at all times, as countless others can attest, and throughout, it was loving, warm, and mutually supportive relationship. After it ended, however, Elena began to misrepresent our interactions both privately and in front of groups of mutual friends. As a result, a few months ago, I engaged a legal team to commence the appropriate actions to protect my reputation and refuse these irresponsible and false accusations that can cause great prejudice and damage. Although I am by no means perfect, I know that these allegations are simply untrue, and while I will always work to improve myself, I need to contest claims that are both false and offensive.
Yeah. That's something Jonathan Majors should have done right out the gate. That's just my 2 cents on that. But I mean, if he's already willing to contest it and all that, I mean, what do we do now? Do we just wait for like a trial or something?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if she's taking him to court and all that. Crazy shit, dude. This is why as much as Disney is like a monger, you know what I mean, and will try and like sweep this shit away, it always comes back and it kind of bites them in the ass.
Yeah, and you got to understand too. And here's another thing. I don't know if any of this would have happened under Iger's watch, because nothing really did happen like this under Iger's watch. I mean, that whole Brolin situation, that shit was kind of like hushity hush. You know what I mean? All that stuff was quiet. People still turned out for, Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
People, people still came in like that. The way Disney handled it before. Now, all this stuff happened. Hear me out. All this stuff happened during Chapek's era. So either they were trying to throw him under the bus, or he made some very, very, very monumental mistakes that Disney is gonna have to clean up as of right now. Obviously, my heart and everything goes out to the victim if this is true and everything like that. But we are a films podcast, and hopefully this doesn't affect future movies and it doesn't affect the role for him. But from the business perspective, Disney has been dropping the ball.
Yeah.
And this is
not a good look.
this is not a good betting situation at all. Like I said before, I thought they handled this one. You know what I mean? I thought they handled this one, and Jonathan Majors was just like an anomaly for sure. Like, it just happens type shit. But no, they came back. Apparently she's coming back with receipts, because she wound up putting text messages out there and everything. And I don't want to read them on this podcast, so if you guys are interested, go check on her Twitter. They're still there. They're pretty bad text messages that don't look good. I'll show you what they look like later, but yeah.
Not for you guys, unfortunately. Go find out yourself. But this sounds crazy. And not to take away from like the whole story in general, but the way people on Twitter react to this sort of thing, I see two sides, right? I see the sides again that are just like, oh, my heart goes out to the victim, this and that, Tanak's a piece of shit, whatever, right? And then I see the other ones that are like, all they really care about is his role. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, but what about his role as Namor and this and that, right? And you got both of those sides clashing. And my whole thing is like yes, it is very much upsetting, and your prayers should be with the victim. However, are fans not allowed to like feel like they're gonna have a character stripped away from them? One that was like really panned against Latin like people. So like that's my whole thing. I'm just like, are they not allowed to feel robbed and hurt that they're probably losing a character they liked?
You can, but only if he's innocent and he's losing the job. If he's guilty and losing the job, then no, I don't think anybody has. They can always get another Latino actor. Sucks that it's not him. It would have been interesting to see him in more projects, but same thing like with Kang. You know what I mean? Like, is it really bad if he actually did it and they got to recast him? Not really. I can put that to the side. It sucks. And don't get me wrong, because you got to fight with that. Oh damn, he was such a good actor. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he's a really shitty person in real life. It's. I just think with everything going on, it shouldn't be a bad thing if they are guilty. Just recast them, do what they got to do. It sucks about the representation part, but at the end of the day, we're on here too that we talk about and we vouch for. Just finding the right person for the role.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, can we really be mad about losing a Latino actor if they find somebody who looks Latino who can do the same thing?
If they get someone that can, what's the best way to put it? Do what Tanakh did, but better, then yeah. But if not, I would feel kind of robbed. I'd be like, damn, they replaced him with this guy. I understand Tanakh's probably a piece of shit, but this guy isn't putting up the performance that Tanakh was.
I don't think they'll downgrade. I mean, did you think it was a downgrade when Cheeto came into play?
No.
Did you think it was a downgrade when they brought back Red Skull, but it wasn't the dude from the Matrix?
It would have been nice to see him, but no. So it would have been cool to see.
I think if they can mask him well, and like I said, if they find somebody that's good that seamlessly fits in there, I think it should be fine. I just think that yeah, it sucks that we lose that kind of representation and everything like that, but at the same time, my man, Acid, bro, Acid.
That's not a good look.
If it's Acid, my guy, then honestly, that's the real life Joker. 100%. He was just like, goons, get the acid. And they were just like, all right, master. Like, what the fuck?
Where do you even get acid? I don't even, you saw that at fucking Home Depot? Where do you get the acid from, bro?
He keeps it in Atlantis or wherever he's from in the movie. I don't know where he's from in the movie. Oh,
it's not Atlantis.
What is it called?
I forget.
Kukulkan. Right, no,
am
I wrong?
That's the name of that's the name of him. That's the fish god, as what's his name put it.
Yeah, so not a very good look for Huerta, but we'll keep you guys updated. I mean, we haven't heard anything after he posted that, so silence.
He was like, "Yep, my hands are clean."
Yeah, and watch her put more receipts up. Damn. Hopefully, you better not do this after we record. At least wait until tomorrow so we can at least put it
together.
Another episode or something, But moving on, though, somebody who is seemingly coming out to apologize or, debunk these rumors. So the other day we were talking about that there was an article that came out that Vin Diesel was reportedly upset, mad of how the way Fast X is going and blamed Jason Momoa for scene stealing and basically overperforming and whatever, etc., etc. Now this wound up catching wind. It wound up going everywhere. A lot of the trades ran with it. So there was no way that he didn't see it. So he took to Instagram, put this nice little picture of them up, and decided to. And it was funny because people were kind of asking, are you talking about the articles? And he literally puts a couple of those keywords in here, but I'll read the little what's it called?
Caption?
The little caption that he put on there. And it wasn't a little caption, it's pretty long. Oh, here we go. April 4th, 2025. ... Who starts a sentence like that? That's just okay, I'm moving on. In less than 22 months away, I love how expressive and collaborative all of the actors in our franchise feel coming into the world's saga. Jason wanted to try something totally unique and special and ended up creating a scene-stealing character that the world won't forget. Thank you all for showing up like you always do. 7 billion means nothing if it doesn't represent the true feeling of family and loyalty. For those who didn't know, the Fast X was just part 1. Know that part 2 is going to be in an effort for our fast family and studio like you have never seen. All love. ...
So he didn't even apologize or nothing. Say that it was fake. He was just like, he did good. Catch him in part 2.
Basically,
This isn't a good look, Vin. This isn't a good look. You didn't even say anything to Momoa or call him out and be like, hey, all those trades are fake. No. I feel like you could have just stayed quiet and we would have had the same result. Why would you? This be that shit, dude.
this is that and this is what I mean when like people say, or like how kind of like The Rock said before, like, oh, he plays like this this manipulation tactic or whatever. You know how he went onto Instagram and did it before, and basically asked The Rock to come back. So here's my thing: you put this on after the news that come out about Hobbs getting his own movie.
Yeah,
wound up promoting part 2, not really addressing the rumors that were happening, but in a way addressing them by saying that he had a totally unique, special, and creating a scene-stealing character that the world won't forget. So, like I said, because even in the reports it said scene-stealing, you know what I mean, and overperforming, and he even says, basically that, and it's like, I love how expressive and collaborative how all the actors are in the franchise. It's like, you know what I mean? You're basically addressing the article without actually addressing the article. So it's like, and then on top of that, you're not even addressing what happened, and that is Dwayne Johnson coming into the scene talking about that there's a Hobbs movie right before that connects to your part 2. Why don't you, why aren't we talking about that? It seems like Vin Diesel's understanding that this franchise that he holds so dearly and he hugged with all his heart, you know what I mean, is slipping through his fingers. And I say that because, let's be honest, Fast X wasn't the home run that we all wanted. Now, we all tolerated it and very much liked it because of Momoa and his portrayal in there. But let's just be honest, if Momoa wasn't in there, it would have just basically been another F9.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I think he understands that this franchise is slipping from his fingers, and I think he understands that, new blood's going to need to be pumped into it, people that are younger, more in shape. Look, if he would, have done what the fans wanted and not listen to what the dumb shit that fans wanted, like, nobody asked for Han to be back. We just didn't want Statham to become part of the family when he killed one of your family, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't want to see them team up and be alive. We just wanted, some kind of not redemption arc, but like a revenge arc or something like that, where they go after him and they finally get him, and they put Han to rest or something. You know what I mean? Like justice for Han. But they were like, he was like, I know what they want. They want him back, and we're gonna bring him back. And then on top of that, we're gonna bring him back Gal Gadot, and we're gonna, you know what I mean? Nobody dies in this franchise, so I think he's doing what he can to keep it alive, but I think he's starting to realize and understand that he's coming to the point where the franchise is gonna leave him.
That's good. It's time for him to move on. Find something else to focus on, whether that be Riddick or whatever else comes down the line, his little spin-offs or whatnot. Let it go. It's time to give new meaning to this franchise that if you really wanted for it to live, you would just let it grow with Momoa and The Rock. Well, maybe not The Rock, but whatever. Just get more people in, younger people, so that way they can continue the legacy. Even if you gotta over fucking shadow it and whatnot, that because if you want to do that, but just let new people in to carry it. You've been doing it for a long time. It's time to let go.
And that's that alpha shit. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying Vin Diesel's like this evil person, but at the same time, he's one of those guys who's going to protect what's his and be vindictive when necessary. You know what I mean? So when Hobbs and Shaw was coming out, instead of him hindering the box office and, you know, not talking about it, he should have been promoting it. Been like, hey, we can totally build something off of this and, you know, go ahead and make it connect to the actual Fast franchise or something like that. Have Idris Elba, you know, have been the villain for F9 or something. You know what I mean? Let him have lived past Hobbs and Shaw or not get captured. And then him jump into the Fast Saga, and Hobbs basically needs to jump in there and basically help him out right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he just like refused to want to promote it. Basically had the Fast family pick sides, like who you rocking with. You know, you had people that were silent. You actually had people that, you know, like Tyrese Gibson, who was like, yo, Hobbs and Shaw, it ain't shit. You know, he actually probably felt threatened, like, you know, this franchise can go a different direction and he lose money. You know what I mean? Because either which way, it just seems like a bunch of selfishness when it comes to this franchise instead of a lot of natural growth and natural, like, love where, you know, you want to just see people happy. It's more like, we want to see them happy, but behind closed doors, like, pop this motherfucker's tires. We don't want, we want them driving on all rims, you know?
That's funny. Yeah, but yeah, seems like it's all toxic over there anyway. So why would you want to be a part of it? A little weird though. He shouldn't have put this out on Instagram. Y'all can go see the picture because he called them scene stealing, but he tried to say it in a positive way. That's not positive. That didn't sound too positive. That sounded like shade.
Yeah, why would you say scene stealing? Why wouldn't you say it was a pleasure to, you know, share the screen with, you know, a delight that is Momoa and his energy or something like that? But you literally said the same word that they put in the article that you said you were very negative about. You know what I mean?
So I'm sure he's fuming. You know what I mean? He's feeling.
If we hear in the next few days or a couple months or whatever that Momoa will no longer be joining part 2 due to scheduling conflicts or whatever, and he goes on this fucking rant and everything that basically what The Rock did, trying to point fingers at Diesel, and he does the same thing. At this point, we gotta find out it is Diesel.
Honestly,
it's Diesel's fault.
He's like, I will be shooting Aquaman 3.
I'm telling you, and I know we talked about this the other day, but where would the franchise be if Paul Walker was alive?
Mm-hmm.
That's just always in my head. I'm always watching these the last few movies, honestly, 8, 9, 10, even 7 too. Like, I'm like, man, if he would have not died that day, what would this franchise have actually been? Would it have been this, or would it have actually been something? And if that's the case, I don't know, because I'm just taking his, you know, his absence and the way the franchise has gone after his absence as it being unbalanced. You know what I mean? And this just, you know, I feel like Paul Walker was kind of like the dude that was kind of telling him, hey, yo, chill, let's do this. You know what I mean? And now that Diesel doesn't have that person, it's kind of like space, the final frontier.
Exactly. That's exactly how I kind of feel about it too. Damn. If I find out he's not in part 2, then the reason for my watching is gone. I'm not gonna want to watch part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Momoa was like my favorite part. I'll keep saying it forever. If they cut him out, if Vin does his shit and cuts him out, I'm gonna be fucking pissed and won't have my money for this one.
No, you wouldn't even invest in part 2. What about the Hobbs movie?
I'd have to see a trailer for that one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that one, but I'd have to see a fucking trailer. If it's dumb and it's his basic rock shtick, I'm not gonna vibe with that.
Fair enough. But moving on though, Universal still wanting to make that bag, with rumors hearing that hot off the heels of Super Mario Bros. Making $1 billion, them coming up in the animation game, they are now in talks and closing in on a deal to make a Legend of Zelda movie.
Amazing. This is the one I wanted. Remember when we had this conversation a few pods ago? Go check those out. This is the game movie I wanted. So this I'm excited for this. Hopefully they reach their fucking mark and get it done.
Okay, next time, can you let me finish my fucking sentence, guy?
No,
Jesus,
no.
No. But you know,
too excited, too fucking extreme.
Now, you have your optimism side, and I'm happy for that. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this.
It's just because you don't like those games.
I like Zelda. Okay, I like Zelda. Don't perpetuate that lie.
Nah, you don't even like Nintendo.
I love Nintendo, man. I just don't like some stuff. I like that one with the cannon hand. I feel like we talked about this the last time.
Her name is Samus.
Samus. I like Samus. And I like the fox. The fox dude. Appreciate
His
it.
name is Fox.
His
name's just
and honestly,
Fox.
Link is my favorite character to fight as in that game. Super Smash Bros. Yeah. So I don't want to hear nothing. And actually, if they're making a Zelda movie, why did they put a Link picture?
It's a Legend of Zelda. He's part of Legend of Zelda. He's part of that franchise.
Fair enough. Well played. So here's the problem with this movie that a lot of people are, that I've seen making my rounds. People have like some problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Illumination, which is the animation studio for Universal, they pumped out Minions, the Super Mario Bros. Like I said, they think that this will not be the movie that they're looking for, and by that they will make it into this goofy movie where it's like comedy and stuff like that, like a cartoon movie. You know what I mean? Like the Minions, or how like Super Mario Brothers was, and yada yada, etc. etc.
Well, didn't they spice up the Mario movie?
I'm asking you.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you haven't even watched it yet. What a fucking loser!
No,
what a fucking loser, guy!
You want
a fucking Legend of Zelda movie?
Didn't they spice that one up though? They changed. I'd imagine they changed a lot.
Well,
it looked like it from the trailer.
Okay, I guess this one would be for me. Well, the movie was good. I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny.
Just because you're a fucking child. No. I was too busy watching real cinema. No.
Fucking Man of Steel for the 15th time.
Hey, leave me alone, yeah.
That was kind of personal, yo. So Super Mario Bros. Movie, it was cool. It was a good watch. It was funny. A lot of Minions humor, if that makes sense. So like it was funny. It had a lot of good stuff, but it was obviously more of a comedy movie. And I'm guessing what they expect from The Legend of Zelda is a more serious animated movie, and let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen. Let's be honest, that's probably not going to.
Illumination, no.
They're probably going to do comedy stuff like that, and that's, I mean, they can go serious. I've seen them like in The Secret Life of Pets and everything. When they actually have their serious moments, it's serious. I don't even think that one's very Minions like. I think that one's like in its own lane. So I think that they can do a serious approach, but there's obviously going to be comedy in there. It's going to be a kids movie that they're going to expect, people to go watch.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I've never considered that because I've only ever watched the Despicable Me movies. So I mean, I guess that's fair. I think if they really wanted to get it right, they'd go to some place like DreamWorks or something to give it that fucking Puss in Boots treatment, just to make it like that anime type movie, because that would kind of go hard.
Yeah, or honestly, kind of like how they kind of put it in this picture right here is like, like a different kind of artistic style, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe I would want to see kind of like a 3D movie. Not the same way as like Super Mario Bros. Is, but different tone, different way of looking, stuff like that. But I guess that's just my own preference. I like a lot of 3D animation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not more of a. I like 2D. I can get past it, like Across the Spider-Verse and stuff like that. Or actually, that wasn't really 2D.
That was really like 3D.
Like 3D, huh? But yeah. So I mean, are you worried that it's just gonna be too funny?
Maybe, yeah, just a little bit. But if they can make it work, why not?
Like, what are you expecting out of a Legend of Zelda movie?
Damn, that's a good question. I wasn't even next. No,
I was totally unprepared.
I don't know.
Pulls out notebook.
I'd expect something serious too. I don't know the lore too much. I've only seen a couple things, and then I've only watched a little bit of gameplay from that latest Legend of Zelda game. the one that like where you can like hit a rock repeatedly and it just send it flying.
Mm-hmm.
But I expect something a bit serious, so I guess that's fair to want to assume that. I don't know. Maybe Illumination isn't the way to go. Then take it elsewhere is what I would say. But because they
more serious studio.
yeah, but because they know Mario was such a hit, they're not gonna want to do that.
Well, yeah, Nintendo's gonna go with the surefire thing, and I mean, if they already have a rapport and have a understanding, then they'll probably do that again. They'll probably make the mistake of doing that, and then when the movie's like completely trashed on Twitter and shit like that, like
either
they're gonna change their tune.
Yeah, either way, either they go with that serious like Link and like story, or watch they're gonna make it like Baby Link or Toon Link, like how it is with in the Smash Bros. You know how they got Toon Link, Kid Link, and then regular Link. They're probably gonna do something with Kid Link just to make it kid friendly.
No, I don't think they would. I think I'm hoping they understand and they got like through their head what the success of the Super Mario Bros. Was basically about, and that was because they basically did what they remember from the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That movie is basically like the game. They changed the voice or whatever, blah 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 blah, but they gave explanation for it. They world build it and did what they had to do. So if they do this, they're gonna have to understand that people are gonna be expecting what they expected with the Super Mario Bros. And that's exactly what they were expecting from the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how they go about this. But like I said, if they listen to the fans in the wrong way, and they go about it that way, where like Toon Link or whatever, blah blah blah, it's gonna piss off a lot of people, and then they're gonna really be like, oh wow, Hollywood is harder than what we thought.
Yeah,
because having a fucking hit with Super Mario Bros. Straight off the bat, you know what I mean? Like they're probably walking along like, okay, I got my swagger, watch out, blah 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 blah. But then they're gonna get humbled real quick if they walk into the ring like that cocky. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, we got this roster of characters.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's something to be worried about. But I'd still be down for it.
Okay, I mean it's still worth a watch, obviously. But still in early development, or actually not even in early development, still in negotiation. I wonder what their first contract with the movie was.
Who knows?
Like what was the cut of the pie? You know what I mean? Like if the movie made $1 billion, so what was Nintendo's cut? And if it was a short amount, they better be asking for a pay hike on the next one. You know what I mean? Moving on though, we wound up seeing and hearing that your boy James Gunn is starting to do casting calls this week. Actually, he could have done it today. He might do it tomorrow. Who knows? Sometime this week he's going to be doing these. And we have top 3 contenders here to play Superman, and that is Nicholas Hoult, David Cornsweet, and Jacob Elordi, and Andrew Richardson. Those are 4 contenders to play Superman. You probably don't know who those people are.
Jacob Elordi sounds familiar. He's the one in the fucking Euphoria, no?
Jacob Elordi, yeah.
Yeah. He's the only one I know.
Nicholas Hoult, he's Beast from X-Men.
Oh. For Superman? No. If I had I don't know what the other ones look like, but if him? I could not see that. That sounds disgusting.
This is David Cornsweet.
Jesus. What are these choices, dude? I don't know. I feel so fucking...
Andrew Richardson.
Oh, well. I guess he's not too bad. He doesn't look too bad.
The strong chin is what sells it for me.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult, no. David, I would say if I had to pick David Cornsweet or Andrew Richardson. Jacob Elordi, no, I don't know about that one. And Nicholas Hoult, I don't know what he sees in him and why he's like a top 4 contender, but that's just crazy to me. Maybe because he has a name out there. Maybe if he got jacked, maybe it'll be a different story. No, it's just
his face. It's his entire fucking face.
He has like a dweeby face.
I couldn't get.
But wouldn't that work for like when he's Clark?
Yeah, but not if not. It's not gonna work when he's Superman. You kind of have to take in that consideration.
Well, that's why if he gets chiseled and everything, but he could look like a nerd and everything and change. Because here's my like, this is what I'm thinking. James Gunn's Superman is going for, and this is from like the things that he said on his own. I'm thinking he's going for like that, Christopher Reeves. Being able to switch on and off that fucking nerdiness to being able to be Superman in a second. You know what I mean? And so I think that's why he's looking for somebody who can play the nerdy part, but also be the heroic part as well.
Yeah, that's what I imagine too. But I don't know. I don't think he's a good fit. I wouldn't see it.
Nah?
No.
You don't think so?
Because even then, Superman is like, while Clark Kent is also stocky because he's Superman, but he slouches. You know what I mean? His posture is different. He does a lot to kind of mask his identity as Superman. So he still has to look jacked, like Henry Cavill jacked, I guess.
Yeah.
But he has to be jacked, and then he has to also be that Clark Kent and Superman mentality. Because even Christopher Reeves, he'd take off his glasses, he'd stand up straight. You know what I mean? His posture changed drastically, and then when you put the glasses back on, he's just Clark. So it's two different things, and I don't think he could do the Superman part. The Clark Kent part maybe, but the Superman part no.
Nicholas Hoult.
I could probably see that.
You could probably see him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But who are you talking about that couldn't be able to do it though?
Oh, well, he's the one, right? Nicholas Hoult is the Beast.
Yeah.
I couldn't see him doing it.
Oh, okay. So who would
the other one that you had said?
Andrew Richardson.
Andrew Richardson
with a strong chin.
Mm-hmm.
He could probably do it.
Jacob Elordi, he's just young. He's young and he's jacked. I don't know how I'd see how. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm seeing him in Euphoria and stuff.
Yeah,
but I couldn't picture him.
Imagine you get off watching Euphoria and you see him as Superman.
I couldn't picture him as Superman just because of what he's done in Euphoria.
He's going after Sydney Sweeney right now.
like I can imagine, like he's probably the best contender because he's young, he's jacked, and I can probably picture him as Clark Kent, but after his big name in Euphoria, which I'm pretty sure is what landed the name on James Gunn's desk, I couldn't picture it just because of his role in Euphoria.
These are some interesting picks. Yeah, I would have top spots have to be David Cornsway for me or Andrew Richardson, but nobody could hold a candle to Henry Cavill, and I'm just gonna say that.
There it is. Henry Cavill Superman is the GOAT.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I like looking at all these people. Not one of them was I like, oh yeah, this is better than Henry Cavill. Like none of them. I don't think anybody's gonna be able to hold a candle to that. I'm
telling you, dude, we're gonna get a Superman Returns thing here, and it's not gonna work.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then you can gloat and brag and boast all you want, because at that point,
that's the future I'm waiting for.
Damn, what if he shuts you up though?
If he shuts me up, okay, but I know that's not gonna be the case.
You're not even gonna be mad. You're just like, I get a good Superman movie out of this.
I'd be like, all right, he got me with this one. Now let's see what the next shit has to bring.
Oh, so you're not gonna let him off the hook with just one movie?
Well, no, because he's a repeat offender. Why would I? He's a repeat offender of mine. I'm not gonna just give him Superman. Superman is a near and dear character to my heart. Sure, if he does it justice, I will give him his flowers.
Okay.
But I'd have to see what his Batman and other shit look like.
What if he doesn't just give you a good Superman movie?
Mm-hmm.
He gives you the dopest Superman movie, better than Man of Steel. What if he does that? What if by some miracle, I ain't even saying that he even holds a candle to Zack Snyder's work or whatever, but I'm saying by what if some miracle he pulls it off, you walk out of there and you're just like, you watch this movie on repeat because it just makes you feel comfy.
Oh, man. Well, I don't know if he could do that, but if he somehow pulls it out of his ass and he gives me that feeling and performance and all that, I'll be willing to give him his flowers and take back everything I said. But till then, he's not off the hook.
All right.
Well, especially with these picks. But because I can only imagine the shit that we were hearing. Like I was like not old enough to participate, but I can remember all the comments about Superman Returns, and while I enjoy that portrayal Brandon Ruth did, I can admit he wasn't built like Superman, but he was a nice Clark Kent, and he still managed to embody Superman for the most part for me.
Okay.
Like, he was able to switch it off, kind of like how Christopher Reeves did. And I'm not saying like he's the better thing here, but he did good, and I can just imagine James Gunn's Superman movie ending up like this one, criticized the same way because, it's too nerdy, it's too grounded. They gave Superman trunks, you know what I mean? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I get you. It's gonna be an uphill battle for him for sure. Like I said, everything, let's say the way that we personally feel aside, the fandom's divided, regardless. You have people that are, willing to give the new DCU a chance. You have people that are willing to try to burn it down at every means necessary in order to get their old DCU back that they originally had. It's just a battle. And him being on Twitter and stuff like that, it's died down. After he said what he said, it has died down a little bit, but he's still on there. But what he has put before is already there. And so, like, whatever he puts on, people just tag right underneath there. Oh, this is what he said beforehand or whatever. Like the Flash, right? That one, he, a lot of people were defending him and be like, oh, how are you going to go on James Gunn's neck for a movie that he had nothing to do with or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then people put receipts in there that said he put on Twitter himself and I remember reading this one. It was literally said he was in charge of DC for a while, that he was giving notes while he was doing the Suicide Squad. And when, he obviously gave notes to how the Flash is going to end and everything like that. So
obviously, because he needs
obviously it's not 100% on him, but at the same time, he did approve whatever's happening next.
Exactly.
So it's a weird spot that he's in, like I said, but at the end of the day, he made his own bed. But if he makes you eat your own words,
if the Flash bombs, dude, and I find out like it's because of him, it ends the way it does, I don't know. I might check out early. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to that Superman movie. You know what I mean? Because it's not looking good.
If it ends the way we heard rumor,
yes,
for it to end.
If it ends terribly, if it doesn't, I know my expectations have been high, but if it doesn't at least hit the mark close enough, this might be it. I think I might officially be done with DC, but we'd have to see the movie first.
You just have to go back and rewatch the trilogy, huh? Just over and over and over again, and be like, "This is my DC."
Exactly.
This trilogy right here is my DC.
I don't even know who's running the next shit.
What's happening over there? Moving on though, we also are hearing some rumors, some actually weird rumors that Idris Elba could potentially be eyed for a role in a galaxy far, far away in Daisy Ridley's new Star Wars movie. This is all coming from comicbook.com, but it's coming from a scooper called My Time to Shine Hello. They're on Twitter. I seen the scoop when it wound up dropping. Wound up being confirmed by a couple other scoopers. There's nothing in the trades just yet, so it sounds like it might just be some negotiations, or maybe something is signed, is just not public yet. But yeah, how would you feel about Idris Elba taking a stab at Star Wars?
That could be interesting. I don't see why not. He's kind of cool. I did see someone say that the Star Wars fandom does wonders, but this person said that George Lucas didn't choose big name people for Star Wars because I forgot what the rest of the quote, but he said that he doesn't use famous people. And in my head, I was just like, well, that's fair. But when he made it, there was no real famous people. He built up Mark Hamill and, well, Harrison Ford is Harrison Ford. And then, he built up everyone else.
Harrison Ford wasn't really that name at the time either.
Oh, okay. So he built them from the ground up. And then that's what they try to do with the sequels, too. Give John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and what is his name?
What do you mean? He had Alec Guinness in A New Hope.
But yeah.
He was Obi-Wan.
Well, you know what you get what I'm saying.
But he was technically a big name at the time.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. This is what that person was saying, and I was just like, well, that doesn't make much sense because I feel like they've always had kind of big name people in their movies, even if it is like a lesser role, quote unquote. I mean, he used Samuel L. Jackson for the prequels, and by then he was fucking huge.
Oh no! Now in the Phantom Menace, he got huger as time went on, but in the Phantom Menace, he was.
When did Pulp Fiction come out?
90s?
Before Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah, right before. Oh yeah, so he might have been a big name.
He was a big name by then, and then so on and so forth. He built up Ewan McGregor, and then I don't know if
Ewan was doing his own thing too on the sides.
Really?
Yeah.
Qui-Gon? Did he play Qui-Gon?
Liam Neeson?
Mm-hmm.
He was. I think he was a name already at that time too. Yeah, so he does cast actors, not big names, because I can tell you, I don't think Liam Neeson's ever been above a C actor or a B actor, but I mean, hey, he made 3 Takens, bro. If you don't get some parenting classes, brother, I don't know what to tell you. Look, man, you gotta. You know what they said too? I don't know if you noticed.
Special set of skills.
Who was it? Like they wound up putting a picture of like Haley Steinfeld's all her like movies with like the Rotten Tomato scores, and it was all like positives, and then they got Tom Holland and put his, and it was like a lot of Rotten Tomatoes, and they were like, somebody needs to fire their management or whatever, you know, their publicist or whatever. They gotta go a different direction. Same thing with Liam Neeson. My boy needs to fight. Nicolas Cage too. Does he just say okay, or does the manager bring him these roles and he's just like, yeah, baby, I'm Nick Cage, I need this. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to be picky which roles. But that's besides the point. Idris Elba is a big name. I think
it would be cool.
I think he made a.
If he's too old for 007, why not take a stab at Star Wars?
I wonder what he would be doing though.
I can imagine him being a Sith. That's it. That's
like he'd probably play like a bonker Sith, huh? Like a crazy person.
Either that or maybe a Jedi
role?
Master.
No, because they said a villain. He's being eyed for a villain role, so it would have to be a villain.
A villain could be. I can just imagine him as like this badass Sith, or like a smuggler, like the opposite to what Lando is. Lando and Han, someone like that.
Nah, but it's gonna have to be somebody to take on Daisy Ridley. So it's gonna have to be like some kind of Sith or whatever. I mean, if he becomes his like badass,
well,
like
if he's
ruthless,
a bounty hunter, we've seen badass bounty hunters take on Jedi. So
yeah, I mean, it just said a villain role. We don't know if it's like he's a main villain, so he could be just like, you know, the side one that has like hand-to-hand combat and everything like that. Because he's shown that he likes to do that kind of stuff. So
could work. Don't give him a lightsaber since he's just gonna be hitting people with a stick. No,
what do you say like that? What do you mean? A stick.
Well, look, because you just said he likes hand-to-hand combat. He's probably gonna have the lightsaber and be like whack.
Just keep like tapping him on the head over and over. But like I said, this is just a rumor, so we'll have to wait and see what happens when this one develops a little bit further out. But we did hear that we're getting a new Leprechaun movie after multiple years, coming from Felipe Vargas. He is gonna be directing. Now, no word if Warwick Davis is coming back. Now, he was the original Leprechaun in the I believe the first one came back in like 92 or something, 93. He was the original Leprechaun, but he stopped playing that role. I think they made one in 2014. He stopped playing that role then. And they made a new one in 2018, and he wasn't playing the role then either. It was some other person. So now they're going a whole nother direction, and this is kind of this was the quote and how they kind of describe the movie and what it's gonna be, saying that 30 years after its debut, this franchise still casts a spell, and we're thrilled to be bringing it back with a new vision. Roy and Miri are two of our most trusted producers, especially with this genre, and we're excited by Felipe's vision for the film as a director in his hands. This movie should be very scary and tons of fun. And that was from the president of Lionsgate Motion Picture Group, Aaron Westerman.
No, thank you. No, thank you. This movie could have stayed in the vault. I do not need my nightmare fuel again. If there's any movie I don't fuck with, it's Leprechaun. I can't. I've seen it once and it's been in my head forever. I don't watch it. I every time on Halloween I'd rather get scared by something I know will scare me. Leprechaun is the forbidden movie. I can't watch that shit.
No?
Nope.
Well, I am a horror person. I love horror movies.
Yeah, you vibe with it, but I can't. I don't
bro,
even...
why do you say it like that? Like I just vibe with it. Like I'm okay with all this murder and shit like that.
Well, yeah, because that's what you just said. That's what you just said. You're like, I'm cool with this. I'm like, well, that's you. I don't nightmare fuel. I don't need it.
So you just are just haunted by the memory.
Yes, he did. Apparently, he did a good job all those years ago because I fucking
they need to bring his ass back.
I haven't even seen the other ones. I heard they're funny, ridiculous, and out of this world and whatnot. But the first one just did it right for me, and I can't watch that one ever again.
All of them have all just been like a comedic spin on it, like because
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Warwick Davis brought a real like comedy towards it. Yeah, I think after the second one, it really got ridiculous and just like I don't know what the fuck they were going for, but no. I know he won't come back because he's too old, so I'm not really like holding hope for him to return. But it's good to hear that this franchise is still alive and we're gonna hopefully get another movie with it. At least me, I'm down.
It should have stayed dead.
Wait, hey, shut up. And with a little bit of like modern CGI and like technology, that's nice. I like that. Like imagine the twist that they'll be able to do in this one. You know what I mean? The tricks and everything like that. If I'm watching this movie, you're coming with me.
Fuck, dude. No, I don't even know. We're gonna have that conversation when this movie does come out. Because I can't. This is I don't know what it is, but it's forever stained my brain. I can't.
Warwick Davis, everybody, traumatizing the youth, one child at a time. But it's good to hear that. Well, at least for me, if you guys are on the other side of the aisle, or you guys don't like horror movies, maybe you just the Leprechaun is just not your cup of tea. That's fine. I'm okay with it, and I'm actually would be down to see it return. But somebody who would be down to return in their own movie once again is Jennifer Lawrence, saying that she would like to take a stab at Katniss if it were ever to present herself, given the opportunity. So talking to Variety, she was asked, hey, the new Hunger Games movie's coming out, if you had the opportunity to play Katniss again, would you? She said, if Katniss ever could ever come back in my life, 100%. She goes on to say, so she says that she'll come back, and then it wound up going into some questions about her look at the cane. So apparently, and we didn't talk about this because I thought it was ridiculous, but apparently at the Canes Festival, she wound up wearing flip-flops. And
what the fuck?
Everybody was like, "Oh, she's taking a shit on the establishment. She's trying to say like a statement or something." That's why I thought it was ridiculous.
Dog.
And she even like came out and was like, "They were just flip flops. Like her shoes didn't fit that day, so she had to wear flip flops."
I hate how the media works sometimes, because that'll be the most simplest thing. That is the worst way to portray media. Oh, this favorite person didn't dress up for this big event. They must hate it and hate us and the entire establishment. Like, no, dog. It's uncomfortable. Like, that's what my big thing. It would look uncomfortable. I see half of the shit that they wear to the Met Galas and their fucking red carpets, and I'm like, that, I'm sure, is worth thousands of dollars. But that looks uncomfortable. This is why you got to be like Adam Sandler and just wear whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, because imagine the posture you got to be in to wear some of those things. It's really weird. But, yeah. What would you like to see her come back as Katniss Everdeen?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I want to see her come back as Mystique
before Katniss Everdeen.
Yeah, I feel like she robbed us of a good portrayal because she didn't like all the makeup and bullshit. But
I mean, she did 4 movies, guy. What else do you want from her?
I want her back. I liked her that much. She was like one of the better things about those prequel movies.
Oh, she's dead now.
Man, they're doing timey-wimey bullshit all of a sudden now. They could figure it out. Pull her from somewhere.
Honestly, she's been on a hiatus, huh? I know she's coming out with that No Hard Feelings movie, but
yeah, I think it was after that X-Men movie she went on her hiatus.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good to see her back finally. as Katniss, I mean, sure, but it's not gonna happen with this new one that's coming out because that's supposed to be like a prequel or something. Maybe we'll see like a, like maybe
a young Katniss.
yeah, like a young Katniss or something. But we're not gonna see her in there. I mean, if they do a continuation, I'm sure that would have to go through the author of the book and everything because these were books, I believe, right?
Yeah, they were. Never read them, but they were books.
You watched all the movies? All these Hunger
No.
Games movies?
I've only seen 2,
I think
and I can't even remember the titles to them. It's been so long.
you never witnessed the epic conclusion of Katniss Everdeen?
No.
Oh, it's okay.
Did she die? She doesn't die.
She don't die.
Does her boyfriend die? What's his name?
Peeta.
Mm-hmm.
Does he die?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil that for you. What if you watch the movies?
Why would I give?
You're never gonna watch them.
Well, I guess if I haven't seen him, I should wait to see him and then be like, no,
Well,
Peter.
Are you gonna? Are you gonna want to watch the new one, the Songbirds and Snakes?
If it's unrelated and I don't have to watch the other ones, then yeah.
It is related, but it's basically a prequel to the other ones. It's basically.
I think I just got to get around to watching them.
Yeah, the ruler is. It's about the ruler. Before he became the ruler.
Mm-hmm. What shut me down from like these franchises were all that like because it was a weird era where books were just becoming movies.
Yeah,
it was like Divergent, and then you had the fuck these ones, and then you had
Maze Runner.
You had Maze Runner, and then I think Twilight was on like its last legs when it was.
Twilight was the one who sparked all that shit.
That's
up.
why, like, no,
Harry
like,
Potter too, actually.
And we're like, that's why they were like on their last legs when these ones were coming out. So I liked the Maze Runner. I didn't get to see the last two though, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Scorch Trials and the last one, I didn't get to see those.
Yeah, I didn't watch those ones either.
But I heard they were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just never got into them because I think after I heard Divergent sucked and I was really looking forward to that one, it kind of just shut me off entirely. I'm like, I could just.
That has nothing to do with Maze Runner.
No, it was like the whole genre.
Oh, like the whole book,
like
adapting books to movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even like the whole video games to movies too. Like I don't rock with those too much.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that one, and I've been wanting to see that one.
I think it was.
Do you think somebody who's never played the games would like that movie?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I think it's different. I think if you go in there and being a big fan of the games and then you watch the movie, you'll be like, well, what the fuck?
This is not what I was looking for.
Yeah. But I think if you go in there with a clear mind, you'll be like, okay, I can vibe with this.
Okay. Because I still want to watch it for Michael Fassbender. I hear a lot of yeses and nos, and honestly, I don't think I've seen it on a streaming service.
Yeah, no.
Just washed off the face of the earth. It is what it is, though. But for our last topic of this episode, we are going to be bringing up Michael Shannon with another, I'm going to call it a common W now because it seems like he's just coming up with W's left and right. So this turned Twitter upside down. This article that he decided to speak up about, he wound up talking about his portrayal of Zod in The Flash. Now, a lot of people wound up cutting off some of the quote, so I'm going to read the full quote. Okay, just so people out there know, I'm reading the full quote, and then we will break down what he says and what we think. And maybe, have you seen what I'm possibly talking about?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so he goes on to say that he says basically that playing Zod in the Flash movie is not as satisfying as it was in Man of Steel. And he says this in the quote. He says it's like here's this person, here's that person, and they're fighting. It's not quite the in-depth character study situation that I honestly felt Man of Steel was. Whether people think I'm crazy or not, I don't care. He winds up saying that I really felt Man of Steel was actually pretty sophisticated story. I feel like The Flash is too, but it's not Zod's story. I'm basically there to present a challenge. And that's basically it. So where a lot of people cut it off was where it basically said that it's not an in-depth character study, and I honestly felt Man of Steel was, whether people think I'm crazy or not, I don't care. And then people cut off that other side saying that, that he acknowledges that it's not his movie, and that's why it's not this big old, sophisticated story for Zod himself. You know what I mean? But with that, and before I let you speak on what you think he means on this, hold that thought. If he if he is saying that this story is not a sophisticated story, I don't think he's just separating that with just his Zod portrayal. I think he needs to obviously speak nicely about the Flash movie because, well, he's in the Flash movie. But I honestly think that he knows that this movie's bupkis, and I think that he understands like he was just there to play this part, and that's about it. And then he's gonna go bye and never be used again. And then maybe later on down the road we'll probably hear, the Flash. Oh yeah, they just paid me to do that. I really didn't care about the Flash.
Oh yeah, I really like that he's being asked all these questions about Zod and stuff, and he's just like, "Dog, Man of Steel was just not that one. Oh, I don't really do anything in the Flash. I'm just there. But if you want to talk about Man of Steel, that's my guy. You know what I mean? Like I really like how he's just hyping up Man of Steel. But on the opposite hand of that, I can see where you're coming from, and that's probably the most likely thing. He's not gonna outright and be like, "This movie's garbage." He's just gonna talk about himself and be like, "Well, I play an empty fucking character here, bro. Like I don't vibe with this." And then that's just him being the truth. They can't silence him fully. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think as long as he's not bashing the Flash and calling it full on garbage, he's in the clear.
I mean, he's going and saying that, and this is his quote, saying that these multiverse movies are like somebody playing with action figures. He says, "I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't quite satisfying for me."
Damn, that's cold. I kind of like my multiverse movies, so fuck. No, I'm just playing.
Not a common W, I guess?
No.
A rare L?
Well, I mean, that's probably fair. The Flash looks like that. The other ones don't. Across the Spider-Verse is fucking art. No Way Home, you pick a side, you know what I mean? But the Flash, I can admit, kind of looks like that. I mean, they kind of pulled random people and were like, go at it, you know what I mean? And even then, that kind of furthers the whole thing because I've been seeing that clip of the two Flashes and the Supergirl facing off against Zod in the fucking desert.
Zod.
So you're just like, well, yeah, it looks like a fucking sandbox. There's nothing there in the middle of the fucking desert. It's just the soldiers and Zod and the ships and the Flash and Supergirl. So yeah,
it's literally all flat ground with a bunch of tanks all over the place.
That's why that does honestly look like a sandbox where they were just like, this sounds cool, let's make them fight, and then they fight. But I see what he's saying. I'm right with you, Michael Shannon.
It has come the day where Josh is no longer hyped for the Flash. As you guys can tell, I've finally broken his spirit, as you guys noticed throughout the episodes. I believe between 80 to 100 and what are we now, 29, 30 now? Mm-hmm. It took a lot of beating it out of him, but here he is, finally in reality, understanding that the Flash might not be what it's all cracked out to be. And it all just took Michael Shannon to let him know where everything's at. Because it's true. I mean, if you go from playing this character, right, that was, he said it took 6 months out of his life the last time we talked about this, training, fighting, like, actually gave him something to do. And I understand he's not a prominent role in this movie, but wouldn't you want a great performance, authenticity from all your actors? If you know that he's supposed to be in this movie to play Zod, why wouldn't you want him to be at peak? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want him to be at peak? And multiverse movies, we've only had a few of them, okay? And they're getting better as time goes on. No Way Home was kind of like that big splash that was kind of like, oh, wow. Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse was kind of like a different thing. Everything Everywhere All at Once was like this monumental step forward. You know what I mean?
Beautiful films.
Now it's like we've seen where it could be. We've seen how low it is. And instead of the Flash being that, I thought in this movie we were going to see, and I was going to say Cyborg and all them, but I'm going to remove myself from what the original vision was, and I'll say what I thought when this movie was coming out was it was gonna be. They said Keaton and Affleck were coming back. I said, okay, Keaton, what the fuck? But okay, I'll play the game. That's fine. But it seems like they're not even gonna ever meet. So you're telling me that you're gonna have two Ezras meeting each other, two Flashes, but you're not even gonna have two different Batmans, kind of like cohabitate, so you can see how, because in Flashpoint, that's, you know what I mean, like you can see the different alternate things, and if you're already having them meet each other, might as well just go balls to the wall, go bonkers like you're supposed to. But we're gonna have two Batmen in the same movie in the first time and at all forever, and you guys can't even put them in the same fucking room together. Why didn't we get Christian Bale to come back? Did he think like this movie was just too fucking lame for him to even want to put the cowl back on?
Yeah.
They get back Clooney? Maybe?
I don't know. I can't even, because I want to still be like, oh yeah, you're getting your fucking hopes up. But no, none of this is cooking right. And when this movie was first announced way back when, and we were just like, take away Cyborg and stuff, I guess. But to scrap all of Flashpoint and the concept of Flashpoint just to cook and make this universe, I don't vibe with that. We were gonna get what's his name, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. But we were robbed. He would have been such a fucking force, dude, and I know it. God, I feel so robbed, and I haven't even seen it yet, and I don't want to be robbed twice. I don't want to be robbed mentally and then like physically, because my money is going there too. So I'm gonna just be so disappointed. I don't want to be, but I feel like I am.
I know, coming hot off the heels of Little Mermaid, I can't feel robbed twice. Not in the same month. Fuck that. There's no way.
Yeah. From
two different studios, they're just ganging up on us, bro.
They're beating us up, taking our wallet, and then just being like, "Alright, get in the fucking cold." You know what I mean? It's not a good look. And yeah, it is fair that Michael Shannon kind of opens my eyes because, well, he was my favorite thing about Man of Steel, or he was one of my favorite things about Man of Steel. So like, there's a reason it's my comfort movie, and he's one of my favorite villains. I think he's better than Thanos, but you didn't hear that from me. Like, him coming out and kind of opening my eyes really just puts perspective.
And I couldn't have said it any better than that. Hopefully, like I said in the last episode, The Flash is coming out this week. I think this is going to be like the most heavy Flash talks that we're going to be having in the next few episodes, because let's be honest, when something's about to collide with something else, that's when everybody's the loudest. We're all going to scream about it, and then hopefully just let it wash away after that. Just let it. It's gone.
It's not going to be gone, dude. It might be for you, but I know if I feel so moved negatively by this performance, by this movie, I'm gonna be a pain to work with, because I'm gonna feel so robbed. I know it. I'm preparing now to hopefully like give me that layer and like boost me up if the movie does good. But I know if I feel robbed, and it's gonna bother me so much.
If we don't talk about the Flash after the movie, and don't wonder why, guys. It's he's gonna tell me like it's off limits. Topic is off limits. It's too soon. He's gonna be like that too soon every single time, at least for like a good year.
Yeah.
But with that, let us know out there. Are you guys excited for the Flash? Are you guys gonna watch the Flash? Are you guys planning to watch it premiere day? Are you guys gonna watch it a week later? Are you guys gonna wait for streaming? We want to know your excitement level, honestly, because projections are going down on this movie too. But with that being said, that's going to be our last topic of this episode. If there's anything that we missed, any topics that you want us to talk about that we should have talked about but we didn't, a movie that you guys want us to review, if you guys want to just, holler at us, support us in a big way, all that good stuff, Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Film Bros Podcast. We post when new episodes are up, and you can hit us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. Listen to us on the go, Spotify and Apple Podcasts at Film Bros Podcast. Support us in a big way. Buzzsprout, links are in our bios at the socials I just mentioned. Subscribe there, and you can get perks and shout outs on our episodes. And then when it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at Film Bros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to y'all later.